Wait, you changed your name to McLovin? McLovin? What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What, are you trying to be an Irish R&B singer?
Oh, they let you pick any name you want when you get down there.
And you landed on McLovin.
Yeah, I was between that and Muhammad.
Why the fuck would it be between that or Muhammad?
Bitches can't be beefing about no niggas. That low. Hold up, niggas should be beefing over bitches. That's soft. Hey.
Spent 22 grand on a hooker, brought her home, and that bitch had a dick. Told her get out my house, and she walked out my house. I had noticed her booty was thick. I was like, nah, never mind, you good. I'm a lumberjack, I can tolerate wood. Laid down, then we played us some Fortnite. Then we stripped down, then we had a sword fight. Is this gay, is this straight? I don't know, I just know that I pay for some weed in her hood. Then she start swinging that wood, she was swinging it good, look like prom Derek G in her hood. Shit, I think I might beat her, not beat her up, but like beat on her wiener. That big bubble butt, it done changed my demeanor. May take off them jeans, I ain't talking about Skeeter.
We're not going to be doing anything too heavy today. I like to focus on when I'm building arms, high reps, low weight, because you don't want to look like a man, honey. We're just here to tone.
I have been trying to put on more muscle and look more manly for the past 6 years. So when you figure that out, you tell me and you let me know the secret. Anyways, yes, this creator looks great, but you don't need to impose like your idealistic body type on other people. Me personally, I use the tools that are in my toolbox to get my clients whatever dream body they want, not criticize them for wanting said body instead. Do I love me a good muscle mommy? Obviously I do. I love muscle on women. It's hot. Keep doing it. But I understand every goal.
10 years after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage across the United States, it could now be overturned.
Same-sex marriage in the United States could become illegal once again.
Yes, the Supreme Court has been officially asked to reconsider the legality of Obergefell v. Hodges, the landmark Supreme Court decision that
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes cis people are funny as fuck when they try to interact with trans people when they have like literally no idea what they're fucking doing. I just had someone be like, I don't know if you're MTF or FTM, but good job on something I was talking about trans-wise. And then someone told them that I was FTM and they said, whoa, I couldn't even tell that he was a woman. Man, I couldn't tell either. Thank you. I forgot. I do be forgetting sometimes that I'm a woman. I'm not a woman.
Dumbass bitch. You fell for the fucking bait. The nigga didn't have to do nothing.
You look like a girl.
Am I a pretty girl?
Oh, well, you're beautiful.
The songs on the radio are okay, but my taste in music is your face. This is in the apocalypse. Whoa, I'm waking up.
If you only follow me on social media and then we meet in person and you ask me my pronouns, I'm going to assume you're a bigot. The other day, I was at work and this girl who has followed me on Instagram for a while came in. The reason I don't follow her is because I saw her one time at a modeling event and she was really fucking weird. So I unfollowed. She came into my job to hang out or whatever. I acknowledged her because I'm not going to be an asshole. I served them some drinks. I kind of came over to them a couple of times. One of the last times I come over to them, she goes, hey, come here, I have a question. And then I can hear her say, something, 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 she, something, 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 something. So I'm already a little irritated because you followed me on Instagram for years. You know my pronouns. She says, hey, so what are your pronouns? And I said he, him. That's a microaggression. Because you're trying to be like cute in front of your friends for some reason. I don't know why. Well, the other day, I was out with some people. They know my pronouns. There was one person there that I guess I haven't seen in a while, or I don't know. And at the very end of the night, after I've been correctly gendered by everyone all night, fucking obviously, she decides to ask me my pronouns. Why? Literally, why? When you've heard me all night being he/himmed, you've probably seen me go into a men's restroom. Why the fuck are you asking my pronouns right now? Why? And then when I tell her, she goes, oh my God, I love that. I'm about to flip out.
ICE agents are just deporting brown people. It's racist, period. Hold up, what makes you think that? Because they're literally targeting brown people. Okay, genuine question. Our bordering country, Mexico, what is the dominant nationality there? Mexican? Right? And Mexico is where a lot of illegal crossings happen. So of course, most deportations involve people from that region. Geography, not racism. I don't see ICE going after Europeans who've overstayed their visas. Good point, and we should. But ICE mainly handles people who've been arrested for crimes, not just visa overstays. You know, gangs, traffickers, people with felony records.
Lock in, fuck niggas. We about to fact check this shit. First, if you fuck with me, make sure you check out that podcast. Let's get it. What the hell is she talking about? What we first have to understand is that most undocumented Americans came to America legally. They just overstayed their visas. This is why we see ICE officers detaining people during their immigration appointments when they're trying to renew their visas. Plus, Donald Trump is lying when he says he's only going for undocumented criminals. In fact, 71% of the people detained by ICE do not have a criminal conviction, meaning we have thousands of people being detained without due process. And there's no way you can say what they're doing is not racist. The Supreme Court last month ruled that ICE agents are able to snatch and question people based on their race. That's literally the definition of racial profiling. And racial profiling is literally a racist tactic.
We've made it 1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds.
I'm kind of freaking out right now, and I'm starting to regret the way I voted, the way I've been thinking, and honestly, I'm scared for my life. I'm older, so this is a high-risk pregnancy. I had to go to a different doctor than I usually go, and she's, all the way in town. So in this third trimester, things are getting a little bit tricky. And she said to me today, she said, you need to start making plans to deliver this baby out of town. You need to spend the next few weeks out of state. I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, well, you're very high risk, and we're monitoring this baby closely. But if the baby's heart rate slows down, if we think the baby's life is at risk, you could die. And she said the reason is because in this state, you're not allowed to operate on a woman who loses the baby. You have to go into labor and you have to deliver the baby. And if you have a dead baby in your uterus for that long, you could go into septic shock and die. And I was like, what on earth are you talking about? And she was like, well, it's all about abortion. And she told me that these late-term abortions, I mean, I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I literally thought that babies were born and mothers were killing them. Doctors were killing the baby after it was born. I thought late-term abortion was an abortion. You end the pregnancy because you don't want to have a baby. He said late-term abortion is just a necessary procedure when you lose the baby inside the womb to protect the mother's life.
And this is exactly why Trump said what he said. Smart people don't like him. I am somewhat sympathetic to this woman, but it's minute. The lack of education is atrocious and astounding. She's already had 2 children. This is a classic example. It's now only upsetting me because it's affecting me. Yeah, honey, you're going to have to go out of state now and have your baby alone because of the laws that are in place. It has always been about protecting the mother. Her life, her sanity, her well-being, her mental and emotional and physical state. I don't mean to be a man and mansplain. I hate saying that because I'm about to, because what the fuck did you think? Quite frankly, I didn't even know that. I'm Australian, okay? So I wouldn't know the specifics and the details of the new acts and laws and legislations that are being passed. But I think it's going to be hard for a lot of women to have sympathy for you. Do I hope your survival of yourself and your baby? Absolutely, 100%. That's not even a question in my mind. But it's always been about protecting the mother. That's why abortion is so important. That's why the medical treatment is so important. And now look what's happened. You voted for the wrong person because you're uneducated. And now you have found yourself in a very sad, uncomfortable, and dangerous position as a woman and a mother. It's very true what they say. Like, us on the outside, in the world, your government banks on you being dumbasses. Truly. Abortion is and should and will always be important healthcare. And I hope now that you are facing this trial, an unexpected trial in your pregnancy, I hope you've had a mega wake up.
Is this gay? Is this straight? I don't know. I just know that I pay for some weed in her hood. Did she start swinging that wood? She was swinging it good, look like prom Derek G in her hood. Shit, I think I might beat her. Not beat her up, but like beat on her wiener. That big bubble butt, it done changed my demeanor. Babe, take off them jeans. I ain't talking about Skeeter.
There's quite a few people here.
You're quite a celebrity, Joseph. Like, look at all these fans.
Hey, so if a black woman or a person of color is telling you that something is racist, something is microaggressive, something is not sitting with them the right way, that is not the time for you as a white person to open your mouth and say, actually, no. Yes, I'm talking about Taylor Swift. I'm talking about the critiques surrounding Taylor Swift. I know we're tired. I know it's been talked about ad nauseum, but I do think this is really important and it's something that we should continue to talk about. So one side of the criticisms about this album are related to stylistic choice, vocals, musical composition, right? People can have their opinions on that. What I want to talk about is the critiques of the lyrics and specifically the way people are critiquing the racist and microaggressive undertones that are within the lyrics. And a large majority of the people calling that out and noticing that are black women and people of color. And I am seeing white women like myself commenting back on a lot of those critiques saying, but she didn't mean it in this way. And you're reaching and you're looking too far into it and it's not racist. Like, how could she be racist when in her music video she surrounded herself with people of color and she endorsed Kamala Harris for all of these people are making excuses like this for a person that they don't even know. It's so wild to me. When a black person or a person of color says that something is racist, that is not when we go, hey, actually, no. We have to sit with that and reflect and go, why didn't I think of it that way? How can I do better in the future? How can I call this out? How can I, et cetera, et cetera. There is work that has to be done. If your first instinct, when a black person or a person of color says something is racist, if your first instinct is to say actually or but, there is work that needs to be done. It's so disheartening to me to see people defend this album and defend a billionaire with their whole fucking life when there are so many other people that energy could go towards, particularly people of color. Like, people of color are being unalived. They are being abducted in the streets. They are abroad and domestically are experiencing violence on insane levels. And so many people have not had the energy or the intensity in speaking about those things. But when it comes to Taylor Swift, they are fighting for their lives in the comment section. We should be fighting for our lives in the comment section when it comes to trans people, violence against black people, immigrant rights, Palestine. These are things we should be fighting for our lives for in the comment section. These are things we should be going out and protesting rather than like going and defending a white billionaire who you've never met. Anyway, this is the last shit I'm going to say on Taylor Swift because she doesn't deserve my time, energy, the space on my phone anymore because it just makes me so fucking grossed out the way people are invalidating black women when they say something is racist. It's so like, white women, we need to have a chat like us and stop relying on black women to do all of this work and hold all of this burden for us to then go back and invalidate them. We have work to do.
So there's Greta Thunberg, and then there's Malala. Malala, whose activism has served herself more than anybody else. Word's gotten her into Oxford, attending award shows like the Oscars and all these late night TV shows. Malala aligns herself with Hillary Clinton and does projects with her and other people in the US administration. Meanwhile, Greta Thunberg was also their darling, Obama and Hillary, but they dropped her real fast when she started speaking about Palestine. Oh, and speaking of Palestine, Malala didn't say a single word until she saw that the tides were turning, and then when it was safe for her to say something, she decided to say it. Malala also never has anything to say about the political situation in her own country, Pakistan. For someone who could have had so much influence, she aligned herself with all the wrong characters and just blended in to the background with her neutrality and diplomaticness. So yeah, Greta Thunberg is what Malala thinks she is, but she is not even worth a single hair on Greta Thunberg's head. And this is coming from a Pakistani because I could not give a crap where she's from. I'm going to call it like it is.
It's been 2 years, like 6 failed ceasefire agreements. They done flattened like 80% of the earth over there. If Israel actually wanted the hostages back, they'd have them by now. They would have them by now. Even though it is 2 years to the day since the genocide started in Palestine, people are still going, but what about the hostages? But what about the hostages? Right? Because all of this actually started with the hostages and the first attack from Hamas, not the decades and decades and decades of occupation that came before it, right? Everything started on October 7th. But people are still justifying the brutality and the violence that Palestinian people face on a daily basis. The fact that over 2,000 families have been just wiped from the Gaza registry, the fact that the Gaza Health Ministry says that over 60,000 Palestinians have had their lives stolen. But you got to remember, they decimated the Gaza Health Ministry, so the number is more likely in the hundreds of thousands. Thousands of children have been orphaned. Thousands of people, including and especially children, have been permanently disabled, have lost limbs. And they're justifying this by saying, but what about the hostages? But baby, if they wanted them hostages, they'd have them by now. It's been 2 years. Nobody's that bad at their job. Nobody. When you have that much manpower, that much firepower, that much funding from the entire world, and you can't find hundreds of people in a block of land about this big, especially when the people holding them keep saying, hey man, we'll give you the people if you stop brutalizing my community. Yeah, you don't want them. You don't want them. At this point, just stop saying, but what about the hostages? Israel has clearly stated that they don't want them, because if they did, they cut it out. It's been 2 years. 2 years.
الآن على ما يبدو قذيفة. نعم قذيفة الآن على الهواء مباشرة.
نرجو أن تتوقوا الحذر.
So this country artist wore a MAGA hat on stage, and listen to what he had to say about it.
It was the proudest moment of my entire career. Being able to put it on, being able to live fully authentic to who I am in front of everybody just felt right.
Bro, your true authentic self is being able to publicly dick ride an 80-year-old man. Why is this phrase like it's like a coming out pose? Probably because he's dick riding an 80-year-old man. Cried on stage, bro. This dude had a breakdown on stage. We're like the soft, sensitive one. That is objectively the most puss behavior of all time. So putting on a MAGA hat at a country music concert is not any form of brave. That's like me walking into a high school GSA and being like, hey guys, I'm transgender. No, be brave. Let's trade places. I'll go on stage at a country music festival, tell everyone I'm transgender, and you can go to a high school GSA, put on your Trump hat, and then a bunch of non-binary motherfuckers can beat the shit out of you. And you guys are the ones being like, masculinity doesn't exist anymore. I wonder why. Look in the fucking mirror. That is the weirdest, most bizarro type shit I've ever seen in my life. It feels so good to be myself. Like, it feels so fucking good to be myself, bro. You guys treat Trump like he is Harry fucking Styles, and you're like a 13-year-old me. What are we doing?
bitch.